You head out for work, close the door, and think your cat will be just fine. After all, they sleep all day, right? What could possibly go wrong? Actually, quite a lot. And most problems are caused by owners themselves, often out of the best intentions. Here are 15 things you should never do when leaving your cat home alone, some of which you might be doing every day. First, leaving the TV on for company. Many people leave the TV or radio on before heading out so the cat won't feel lonely. It sounds logical, but it actually has the opposite effect. A cat's hearing is 3 times more sensitive than yours. What sounds like background chatter to you is a constant stream of loud, sharp, and unpredictable noises to them. Commercials are especially problematic. The volume spikes and tones change suddenly. There might be sirens, shouting, or dogs barking. A cat doesn't understand it's just a TV. They hear real threats in their space and can't figure out where they're coming from or when they'll stop. For comfort, a cat needs predictability, not noise. A quiet apartment where they can only hear the fridge or a ticking clock is much more peaceful than one with a TV that might suddenly scream in a voice they don't recognize. If you want to leave some background noise, use specific playlists of bird song or soft nature sounds at a constant volume. But honestly, most cats prefer total silence. Trying to entertain them with the TV is often more about your own guilt than the cat's actual needs. Second, depriving the cat of a window view. Some owners close the curtains, clutter the windowsills, or simply don't think about the fact that the cat needs something to look at for the next 8 hours. For an indoor cat, a windowsill is their TV, movie theater, and social media all-in-one. Birds, people, dogs, cars, leaves blowing in the wind, or rain on the glass. All of this stimulates their brain and prevents boredom. A cat with window access can spend hours watching, getting visual stimulation that no toy can replace. It's a known fact that cats deprived of window access are more likely to show signs of chronic boredom, over-grooming, overeating, apathy, and even aggression. This can often be fixed simply by clearing the windowsill. A single window with a view provides hours of entertainment and costs zero. Remove fragile items, but keep the sill clear and accessible. If the window is high, put a chair or shelf nearby, so the cat can jump up. The best thing you can do for a cat left alone is to give them a window to the world. Third, closing all internal doors. You leave and close the doors to the bedroom, office, or bathroom to keep the cat from making a mess. As a result, their entire world for the next 8 hours is reduced to one room and a hallway. For a cat, territory isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. They patrol their domain several times a day, walking around, sniffing, and making sure nothing has changed. When half their territory suddenly becomes inaccessible, a cat doesn't just deal with it. They get anxious because anything could be behind those closed doors and they can't check it. Cats with access to the whole apartment generally stay calmer and cause less damage than those locked in a single room. It's a paradox. The more space you give them, the fewer problems they create because they have no reason to be stressed. If you're closing doors out of fear they'll ruin something, consider hiding the item instead of blocking the room. Fourth, leaving the washing machine open. Cats love dark, warm, and closed spaces. A washing machine drum fits all three perfectly. If the door is left open, a cat might climb inside and fall asleep on the soft seals. The danger is obvious. If someone comes home and starts a load without checking the drum, the results are catastrophic. This isn't just a what-if scenario. These accidents happen every year, and vet clinics regularly warn about them. Make it a habit to close the washer door every time you leave. Close the dryer door. Close the dishwasher door. This 1-second habit can save a life. The same applies to open suitcases, gym bags, and boxes with lids. A cat climbs in, falls asleep. You close it without checking, and leave. Some owners have found their cats in suitcases hours later after hearing muffled meowing from a closet. Take it as a rule. Any container a cat can fit into should be either closed or secured, so it can't accidentally snap shut. Fifth, Lighting scented candles before leaving. You light a candle so the place smells nice, and then head out. This presents two problems: an open flame near a curious animal, and the chemical makeup of the smoke. A cat can knock a candle over with their tail, or during a jump. But even if the candle is out of reach, the smoke contains paraffin vapors and chemicals like benzene, which are more toxic to cats than humans because of their small size and sensitive respiratory systems. Essential oil diffusers are even more dangerous. Many oils that smell great to us, like tea tree, eucalyptus, citrus, lavender, and peppermint, are toxic to cats. A cat breathing these in all day can feel significantly unwell by the time you return. A cat's liver is different from a human's and cannot break down many substances that are harmless to us. These toxins accumulate and can lead to chronic poisoning, with symptoms like lethargy, loss of appetite, or breathing issues appearing gradually. Sixth, leaving out a large pile of food. The logic is simple. I'll pour a big bowl so they have enough for the day. The problem is that most cats can't self-regulate their portions. If food is left out, many will eat it all in the first hour, and spend the rest of the day hungry, then overeat again when you refill it. Also, dry food left out all day oxidizes, loses its flavor, and absorbs environmental odors. To a cat's nose, fresh food and all-day-old food smell very different, and some may refuse to eat it, even if they're hungry. An automatic feeder with a timer solves both problems. It serves portions at specific times, keeping the food fresh and preventing overeating. This is one of the few gadgets truly worth the investment if you often leave your cat alone. Seventh, long and emotional goodbyes. You stand by the door hugging your cat saying, "Mommy will be back soon. Don't be sad. I love you. Be a good girl." Your voice sounds anxious and guilty. To you, it's a goodbye ritual. To your cat, it's a signal that something bad is happening. Cats don't understand the words, but they read your tone, facial expressions, and the scent of anxiety. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, and a cat smells it instantly. If every departure is an emotional event, they start to associate your leaving with fear. A calm, routine departure works best. Grab your keys and walk out. For a cat, routine means safety. He left like he always does, which means he'll be back like he always does. The same goes for returning. If you rush in screaming, "Oh, my poor baby, did you miss me?" you're reinforcing the cycle of stress. Keep your arrivals and departures low-key. Eighth, leaving windows open without safety screens. Every year, vet clinics see hundreds of cases of high-rise syndrome, injuries from falling out of windows. Most of these happen when owners aren't home. You leave a window open to vent the room. The cat sees a bird and jumps. Cats don't grasp height the way we do. Their hunting instinct is faster than their ability to judge distance. A fall, even from the second floor, can cause broken jaws or ribs. A pet screen or cat guard on every window is a necessity, not an extra precaution. Even a cat that is set calmly by a window for 3 years might jump in a split second if a pigeon flies by. Also, don't rely on standard mosquito screens. They are usually held in by flimsy plastic tabs and can pop out under the weight of a 10 lb cat. Ninth, leaving a full bathtub. You fill a tub to soak in later, maybe after a long day at work, and then step out to run a quick errand, grab groceries, drop something off, or just take a walk. It seems harmless. The water is just sitting there still and quiet. But for a curious cat, a full bathtub is an irresistible object of investigation. A cat might jump onto the edge to sniff at the water, or simply to cross to the other side of the bathroom, slip on the smooth porcelain rim, and fall straight in. This happens more often than most owners expect, and the outcome can be fatal. They often can't get out because the sides are slippery and smooth. There is nothing to grip, nothing to push against. While cats can swim, and many people assume this means they're safe in water, they panic in deep water almost immediately. That panic accelerates everything. They tire out in minutes, not hours, and can drown even in a relatively small amount of water. A bathtub doesn't need to be full to the brim to be deadly. Wet fur becomes heavy with alarming speed, doubling or tripling in weight, making it physically impossible for them to pull themselves over the 15-in rim. Even if they momentarily regain composure, there is simply no way out. Always drain the water completely before leaving the house. Even if you plan to be gone for only 20 minutes, or keep the bathroom door firmly closed. A closed door takes 1 second. A tragedy doesn't announce itself in advance. 10th, leaving exposed wires, chargers, extension cords, power cables, earphone wires, lamp cords. To a board cat left alone for 8 hours, an exposed wire looks exactly like a thin, wiggling, endlessly fascinating snake. It lies on the floor. It hangs from a desk. It disappears behind furniture and reappears somewhere else. It is, from a cat's perspective, a perfectly designed toy. The risk isn't just a broken or chewed through device, which would already be an expensive and frustrating outcome. The real danger is far more serious. A cat chewing through a live wire can suffer severe electric shocks, painful burns inside and around the mouth, and in some cases, the interaction can cause a short circuit that starts a fire in your home while you are not there to respond. Younger cats chew wires more frequently because they are curious and teething, but adult cats can start doing it out of boredom, stress, or simply because the texture appeals to them. Use cable management sleeves to bundle and cover exposed wires. Hide cables behind furniture wherever possible, or apply a bitter deterrent spray. Cats strongly dislike the taste and will avoid anything that carries it. Before you leave the house, each morning, do a quick floor sweep with your eyes. Scan the baseboards, the desk legs, the area under the couch. If you can see a dangling cord from your height, your cat can absolutely see it from theirs. And unlike you, they have all day with no distractions and nothing else to do to decide whether today is the day they finally grab it. 11th, leaving a dirty litter box all day. If you're running late and skip the morning scoop, telling yourself you'll deal with it when you get home, your cat might find the box completely unacceptable long before you return. For a cat, a dirty litter box is not merely unpleasant. It is the equivalent of a toilet that hasn't been flushed in days, sitting in a small enclosed space with no ventilation. Cats are incredibly clean animals, arguably cleaner in their bathroom habits than most other pets, and a dirty box causes them genuine physical and psychological distress. It is not a matter of preference or pickiness. If the box is not clean enough to use, they will immediately begin looking for an alternative somewhere else in the home that feels acceptable to them. That alternative is often the rug near the box, the bathroom mat, the sofa cushion, or your bed. This behavior is not revenge in any meaningful sense, and it's important to understand that your cat is not punishing you for leaving. They simply need a place to relieve themselves. And the only option you provided before walking out the door is, from their perspective, entirely unusable. Many owners come home to find an unexpected mess on their bedspread and feel offended or angry. But the cat is doing nothing more than solving a basic biological problem, the only way available to them in that moment. They had no other choice. Always scoop the litter box before you leave for the day, even if it's just a quick pass. It takes 90 seconds and prevents a frustrating situation for both of you. 12. Leaving out strings, hair ties, and small items. A loose piece of string, a forgotten hair tie on the bathroom counter, a strand of tinsel left over from a decoration, a rubber band dropped on the kitchen floor. To you, these are minor clutter, things you'll pick up later. To a cat, they are the most exciting toys in the entire house. The problem isn't the playing. The problem is anatomy. A cat's tongue is covered in backward F-facing barbs called papelet, which are designed by nature to grip meat and pull it efficiently into the throat. These barbs work in one direction only. Once a string, thread, or elastic band gets far enough into a cat's mouth and catches on those barbs, the cat physically cannot spit it out. The barbs won't allow backward movement, and they are forced to swallow it whether they want to or not. This can lead to what veterinarians call a linear foreign body obstruction, where the string anchors at one point in the digestive tract and bunches the intestines like fabric gathered on a thread. It is an extremely painful condition that almost always requires expensive emergency surgery to correct, and if left undetected or untreated, it can be fatal. Before leaving the house, make a habit of putting away sewing kits in closed drawers, securing all hair accessories, and doing a quick scan for anything small enough to be swallowed. A needle and thread left out together is perhaps the single most dangerous combination of objects in a household with the cat. The cat follows the thread because it moves and catches the light, swallows it, and the needle travels with it directly into their digestive tract where it can perforate the stomach wall or intestines. This is not a hypothetical. It happens regularly, and it is entirely preventable. 13th, leaving only one water bowl. One bowl of water in the morning might seem like more than enough for the day. It probably is, under ideal conditions, but conditions are rarely ideal. If the cat knocks the bowl over while playing or simply walking past it, which happens constantly, or if a piece of food falls in from a nearby dish and spoils the water, rendering it unappealing or contaminated, your cat is left completely without water for however many hours remain until you come home. For a cat eating primarily dry food, this is a genuine medical concern. Dry kibble contains almost no moisture, meaning a cat eating it depends entirely on their water bowl to stay hydrated. Dehydration in cats can develop quickly, especially in warm weather, and chronic mild dehydration contributes significantly to kidney disease, which is already the leading health problem in aging cats. The solution is almost embarrassingly simple. In nature, cats instinctively seek multiple water sources scattered across their territory, not a single fixed point. Put a backup bowl in another room, the bedroom, the hallway, anywhere that isn't next to the food bowl. It takes 30 seconds and requires no ongoing effort. It ensures that if the main bowl becomes inaccessible or contaminated for any reason, there is always an alternative. You might even notice once you add a second bowl that your cat drinks noticeably more water overall simply because it's available at multiple points along the paths they travel during the day. For a cat, consistent hydration isn't just comfort. It's directly tied to kidney health and overall longevity. 14th, leaving toxic plants within reach. Lies, Alis, tulips, aloe vera, Diphambacea, philodendrons, pals, and CO palm. The list of common houseplants and cut flowers that are toxic to cats is significantly longer than most pet owners realize, and it includes many plants that are considered perfectly standard home decorations. A cat that has completely ignored a particular plant for months or even years might decide one afternoon out of boredom or a sudden shift in curiosity to take a bite. The reason doesn't matter. The outcome does. Lies in particular are exceptionally lethal, not just if eaten, but in even trace amounts. A cat that brushes against a lily and then grooms themselves, licking the pollen off their fur, can ingest enough toxin to cause acute kidney failure. What makes lies especially dangerous is how deceptive the timeline is. Symptoms of poisoning might not appear for 12 to 24 hours after exposure, during which time irreversible damage is already occurring inside the body. By the time a cat shows visible signs of illness, the kidneys may already be failing. If you are not 100% certain that a plant in your home is safe for cats, not reasonably sure, not probably fine, but completely certain, move it immediately to a room that your cat cannot access under any circumstances, or remove it from the house entirely. Replace it with cat grass, which is genuinely safe, and which many cats enjoy, or a Boston fern, which is non-toxic. The ASPCA maintains a full, searchable, regularly updated list of plants that are toxic and non-toxic to cats on their website. It takes less than a minute to check. That minute could be the difference between a normal evening and an emergency vet visit at midnight. 15th, leaving the cat alone for several days. The most common mistake is thinking, it's just a cat. They're independent. I'll just leave a big pile of food and water, and they'll be fine for 3 days. They won't be. Not because they'll run out of food, but because cats are social animals. 3 days of total isolation is a major stressor. By the second day, they start to get anxious, and by the third, they may stop eating, overgroom, or become aggressive. If you're going to be gone for more than 24 hours, have someone stop by at least once a day. They don't just need their bowl refilled. They need to see a human, hear a voice, and know they haven't been abandoned. An automatic feeder replaces a bowl, but it doesn't replace presence. Here at Cat Club, we always remind you your cat needs to know the world is still turning and that someone still remembers they exist.